Good morning. It's time to erg again. 3x20 UT2. Let's get going. Done with the morning UT2 workout. Went well. Started off a little hard in terms of my body was waking up, so demanding like pressure strokes from the beginning. Took a bit to get going, but once I got going, it felt a lot better. Splits ended up a little bit faster than yesterday morning's 2x20 minute. Heart rate was about the same. I think it was the same average for longer piece. So overall, very happy with it. Hopefully it'll feel a little bit easier in the future, but excited. Managed to find a place to lift. One of my relatives has like home gym thing, so hopefully it's nice to lift here. Done with my lift from earlier. Did 5x5 squat with a pause at the bottom, and then 5x5 bench with a pause at the bottom, supersetted with 5x5 pull-ups, and then afterwards did 5x5 of barbell rows, like so 5 each arm, and then supersetted that with a bunch of jumpies. So just trying to start lifting, I guess, especially with the squat, because it kind of annoys my lower back a little bit. Not too much, but enough that I don't want to hurt anything. So kept the weights light overall, so it didn't push it, because I haven't lifted in a little bit. So just trying to ease back into it. But I also want to do a little bit more meters this afternoon. I wasn't originally planning anything, but I figure I should try and bump up the meterage a little bit. I don't want to do anything too hard or too long because my lower back is a little bit annoyed from squatting, and I would like to make sure that I don't annoy it anymore and that I recover, because I don't want to do anything too hard to let my legs recover from lifting, because they're a little tired, and I don't want to do anything too long because the longer the stuff is, the more likely it's just going to annoy my back in general. So currently all I'm planning on doing is a quick 20-minute UT3, nice and easy, and just to bump up the meters. The piece ended up going so well that it felt pretty smooth, so I did another 20-minute piece. I did them as two separate single times because I'd set the first one up as single time, but it felt, my heart rate was like 120s it said for the first one, which I don't necessarily believe. It did feel low, but I have a hard time believing 120s or like low 120s, especially because in the middle of the piece it randomly jumped to like 110s, and I doubt that. That's way too low. But overall, it felt way better than I expected. It ended up saying I averaged 125 with a max of 142. I used my watch to do the 2 minutes rest in between, since I had to set them up as two single times. So the first one, see this, I don't believe that happened, but the first one felt very light, so then I ended up deciding I was going to do a second one. So heart rate was higher in the second one because kind of got in a rhythm and stopped caring about the heart rate as much because my legs felt light, and that's normally what I care the most about, because that's what I feel like needs to recover the most when doing this much volume. But very happy with this afternoon. Ended up doing more meters than planned and felt light, so hopefully that means I'll recover super well from it.